set of minutes from last meeting in May.
I didn't have any comments, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Either I'll second that.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. Okay, asked to be on the agenda tonight was Vincent Caniglia, who's working on an Eagle Scout project. Are you with 101?
Yes.
All right. Come on up and we'll let us have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. My Eagle Scout project, I wanted to build benches at Auburn Park around one of the previous Eagle Scout projects. What I could do is they're going to be cemented into the ground and they can be treated wood. They can either be stained, painted, whatever color you guys want.
This is around the fire pit.
Yes.
At the park. I think it's a good project. The first one was a good project, and it's always great when you can add on to one, I think. He's got stone pavers around there now, isn't there, or is that gravel?
Stone. Looks like stone. No gravel.
I think that's gravel. We did stone pavers up
Yeah,
here.
over there.
So you can do it. This is Fire Chief John Phillips right here, and yeah,
PJ, those are pavers up there.
those are pavers over
Yes,
there
sir.
too. You gotta go outside of those now.
Well, big wooden benches keeping away from the fire pit's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
How
talk
far
to-
away though
talk
from
to
the fire
the
pit,
chief.
there could be a ways.
Is there any standard clearance for,
Not really, but I would recommend a minimum of 5 feet to give you plenty of clearance.
that might be just about right then.
You have to fasten these in the ground too, right?
Yeah, they're going to be cemented in.
Cemented in.
Might be close enough they can get up and roast marshmallows.
Yeah, 5 feet, that's close enough, isn't it?
Benches are in a
4.
BJ, just so you know, he's also a cadet with the fire department, so yes,
You're
I'm very familiar with it.
Carter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you from years ago, but then
It's finally grown.
I remember on the 4-wheelers and bikes and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's a real worthy project. And, it's,
You got a fire pit, you wanna sit around it. Perfect.
you got an original you need signed, or any one of these work, or?
I had the original right here.
I know at some point you need a beneficiary here to sign off, and I'd be happy to.
Those are all for you guys to
Okay,
keep.
thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the project as presented.
Second. John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes,
Motion passed.
and we thank you and all your other scouts come before and later. You've done so much for the
Want to
park.
give Mr. Kavanaugh your original, he can sign that for you. Keep moving.
The only place for now, just until later, or? All right, thank you very much, John.
Thank you, sir.
Call Emmerich when you're a couple days, before.
Sure.
You're gonna be working up there, just to make sure there's no reason they can't work, so. All right, thank you. Okay, being the first meeting of the month, our scheduled reports include Mr. Frank Kitco, who's gonna give us a zoning report.
They should all have a copy of activities for May. We did process 15 applications for 15 permits. Across the board there, we actually had five residential additions. Usually they don't get that many in 1 month, but we'll be glad there. And we are continuing to work on reviewing conditional uses and with the Board of Appeals. And I think they may have a case if the paperwork's all in, and I'm not sure whether it's all here yet. I think there's something missing. Also been working with a couple residents / builders and with wetland and riparian issues on rather large parcels of land, 2 of them down on Quinn, and then I think you're all familiar with what was at one time proposed for Thistlewood subdivision, which was never completed or never recorded. The road was never put in, and so it looks like people are gonna purchase it, the whole thing, and build 2 houses on the hill.
Good.
And I think, at last I talked with them, they're also gonna buy one outlot on Stafford Road for the second driveway, because we don't allow shared driveways, and but there are some riparian issues. There's some ponds and some wetlands on the property, but I think and that's part of the problem with trying to put 2 driveways off of 44 is one of them would have to cross considerable wetlands, and so there, I think between the negotiations and with the developer or the owner, because it was never developed, I think that's what they're gonna go ahead and throw this outlot in, but, so that'll be an interesting project, when it's all said and done.
Frank, the outlets were the only ones that were officially split off,
Correct,
right?
yeah,
The rest of
right,
that was a
'cause you can do
30-acre chunk or something?
Right, you can do outlots without doing subdivision, but you cannot sell property in a subdivision until the road is, and improvements are in, which road, underground electric, and that all has to be done, and the developer never did that.
Right.
But I believe it's a young couple and an aunt or something like that.
How many acres is that, Frank, do you know?
I think that was about 14 or something like that. Or maybe more than
There's
that.
more than that.
I think it's more than that, yeah. I can't remember.
Wasn't it like 7 houses or something?
Yeah, I think something like that was proposed. And I know that, I don't know how they're gonna handle this now, but in the original proposal, Patsy LaRue, who lives in the house next to the proposed road, was supposed, and that was her her grandmother's property. At one time, she is supposed to get an additional lot, and I don't know how that's gonna transpire. It was excluded from the subdivision originally, when it was plotted, but since it was never final plotted or recorded, but it'll be interesting to see. But, that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions zoning related for Mr. Kitco? We'll move on to Emmerich Gordon, our highway superintendent.
Okay, Auburn Township Road Department report for May 2019. Ditching and brush removal continued on our capital improvement projects. Recent rains have pushed our anticipated completion date about 2 weeks back. I think, and we're mirroring everybody else around the county there. Now that the preparations for Memorial Day, senior trash pickup, and large item day are over, we can now refocus back on those projects. And I'm hoping that the next 2-3 weeks complete those and get a pre-con meeting in here and get started on those services. There was some cold patching done between the raindrops, as well as burn repair. We did have 4 down tree call-outs on Stafford, Valley, Thorpe, and Brittany Woods Trail. And we did get that removed, and we are dumping up FTRP there. The roadside mower was put in service for several days. We did get just about 1 complete time around the township. There's another road or 2 that need to be done on the first lap. In the cemeteries, prior to Memorial Day, graves that were opened in the fall, winter, and early spring were topped with soil, grass seed, and straw. Also, we did pour 6-footers to accommodate the placing of monuments, and we had 2 urn burials for the month. The one was a cross, PJ. I don't know if that was one of Elmer's relatives or not, that corner there, but we did have an urn for a cross. May 28th did bring an isolated deluge to the southwest corner of the township, and this did cause some localized flooding. Ditching was done on Quinn Road to remove sediment from the ends of a cross culvert pipe that was giving the property some problems there. And we did do some restoration of a washed out berm on Taylor May Road. The water did crest and cover the road surface of Bartholomew in that area, Mr. Everly, that you and I are familiar with. It did recede rather quickly though. But I think within the course of an hour and a half, we had between 2 and 3 inches of rain in that corner of town. Senior trash pickup days was once again a success. With 100 homes, I thought we had just over 100, that utilized the service provided by the Geauga County Department on Aging and Auburn Township. And I do want to thank the volunteers from the Department on Aging. That would be Jared Zimperman and Gary Arnold, for giving us a helping hand during the event. I was down one worker, John Zoka, did have, he's out, he did have that issue taken with his foot, so he wasn't there. The extra hand was appreciated. That's all I got.
I think we got a county engineer's intern there, Mr. Fenstermaker, helped us out there.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, yeah, I'd like to add Mike Fenstermaker as well. His son did show up and he did let us in most of the day. So,
and a couple
but that was large item day, which I was gonna let you guys, this is senior cash pickup. So we had a couple other volunteers as well.
volunteers as well.
Yeah.
I wanna thank you guys for putting in all that effort. It was not a very good weather day on Memorial Day, but I think the ceremony turned out as good as we could hope for, and we did do the flag ceremony later, after it dried up for a little bit, at Shady Side. So everything was kinda out of order, but still, I think it was.
You had a good turnout at the museum.
We
too.
did. I thought we'd get 2-3 people. We had about 50 or so up there. Yeah, that turned out okay. Yeah, everything kind of out of order. We're going to discuss Memorial Day at least one last time before we take it off the agenda a little bit later. But just want to thank you guys for, like you said, that whole series of stuff that comes up every May.
Right.
You guys got it all down. So, I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
What's it take? How many hours on one pass for roadside mowing for the entire township?
If it's uninterrupted, it's just under 10 days, just under 2 weeks.
Well, if you, like, hours, just if you could assume.
That'd be
Let's-
80 hours.
Yeah, let's say 60 hours.
I was gonna say, is this guy mowing 8 hours a day or?
Yeah, just about, well, you're prepping the tractor first of all, so you're giving
Yeah.
us an hour and a half there, so, and then you travel back in as well, you know. So, yeah, probably about 60 hours, I would imagine.
60 hours.
Depending on the amount of passes, you also make it stop signs and, you know, things like that, where you try to open up intersections, stuff like that. But that is just the roadside berm edge that's done in that. And one of the things that we've talked about as well is trying to get these other profiles done and keep the trees off the back slope.
Yeah. And we got the tool to do it now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, anyone else with any questions for Mr. Jordan related to roads? Thanks again, Emmerich. The trustee reports, we'll start with Mr. Everly.
You know, I don't have anything to add to that.
So you're gonna pass the Mike Troy in.
Okay, yeah, well, mine does kind of relate to Emmerich somewhat. Our discussion on the property on the southeast on Munn and 422. We contacted the county regarding that culvert underneath there. And the last time we discussed it, you said we've gotten a response from the county, and we're still waiting for a response from the state.
From the state, right, and both of them are saying that it's the other's responsibility.
Okay.
The contact I have through the State Department, or the state, is out of Cuyahoga County, like District 12, I believe. And I'm waiting for a return on that. It's been a week and a half, about 2 weeks right now, that I sent that email out asking for him to investigate this. I haven't heard back yet, so I'll go ahead and get the cattle prod out and see if I can
All right,
at least get a response.
Yeah, because what we want to do, as we discussed last meeting, is, I think we're still, even if you get a response, I'm guessing it's gonna be what they gave you verbally. Either the county or the state wants to take responsibility for that. So what we're gonna do is contact the prosecutor's office and get a legal opinion on this situation to find out who should be taking care of this. Because right now, it's been a couple of years now, we've been bringing this issue up to them, and nobody kind of wanted to
Yeah,
address it.
and as well, that drainage channel does run through, I believe Bill Timmons is the trustee for the Cummings property over there, and that channel runs through the field behind the edge of the property there. So it would also entail cleaning that private property channel out as well, if you really want to do it right, not just open the ends up.
But at that point in time, once we get the ends done, we can contact Bill and see what he can do for us.
Has that ever been maintained, did you know of them, or?
The county hasn't, as far as my contact with those guys there,
So that goes back 15 years.
at least, yeah. And the state, they're just, once again, calling Monroe County Road, and it's not their responsibility.
So that may go back to like 91 when that opened, or 90.
You would go back to
Constructed.
91, yeah, when it opened, when that was all put in there.
Is that state property or just
When you look at the overhead view of the property lines, the state did acquire property all the way down, including the entrance to Widgeon there, and my guess was to accommodate their bridge, because that is their bridge there, so they had to take that property in order to put their structure up.
Is that part of, is that part of that then? That was created when that bridge was put
I
in?
believe those
I
lines
bet
must,
it was.
Yeah.
I lived on
I can't remember.
northeast corner. And the state came, I still own that, and the state took a little sliver eminent domain for similar drainage stuff on my corner. And I don't know if that happened on the south side of the freeway as well, but I wouldn't be surprised, because that was all re-engineered. Anybody that lived here at the time, you might remember, what was that closed for, a couple of years?
Yeah, because when we first bought our
Yeah.
property, there was no bridge, it was totally untouched at that point in
They
time.
dumped all the dirt in the middle, closed the road, and then they found out some engineering needed to be done. And that's why it sat closed. I used to come home to sheriff's cars in my driveway, writing tickets for driving over those piles around the barricades. That was, I think that was a considerable screw up in the construction of it, but they ended up buying another sliver from me, and I wouldn't be surprised all four corners. But that's, I think, 30 years ago. It is what it is now, so.
Yep. Okay, I think
See, then the other thing is I think we're gonna have to investigate a little bit, is if we open up the culvert, is it just plugged up downstream?
right, that's where the stream goes through the field there.
That could be the next issue.
Well,
One step at a time, I guess, but.
one of my neighbors, actually the second house down, he owns a plethora of companies, machine shop, landscaping and everything else. I'm sure if Bill would let them, he said he would be happy to send his people over
Oh.
and take care of it.
We should hook,
Just to-
we should get that done, see if that needs to be done then. Right now, I don't know, when should tell him to contact.
I'll contact him, so I'll have Township contact Bill and then see what we can do. All right, that's all I had.
Yeah, everything I have is on the agenda later. So, Fred, what do you got?
All right, I've got your regular reports in front of you, the appropriation summary report, the revenue summary report, and your fund summary report. Also, I've put down on the table the current fiscal year 2019 budget. Deadline for submitting budgets is coming up. They have to be submitted by mid-July. And what I'd like to do is I also gave a copy of departmental budgets to the chief and to Emmerich. If we could look these over and make any additions, if we think there's gonna be any big spending changes between now and next year, if we could mark that up on here and get it back to me. I'd like to have the budget back in front of the board for the next meeting to be approved and accepted. So I'd like to go ahead and advertise for that.
Yeah, you gotta do public hearing, by 15th?
Yeah, I mean, we could really push it out and do it at the first meeting in July, but I'd rather try and do it at the meeting in June.
Yeah, I'll be out the first meeting in July, so on the 15th, that'll be sweet.
Yeah, we should be able to look it over within the next 2 weeks. I don't foresee any big changes. Revenue's gonna be about the same. And,
You'll be here first.
earlier this year, we received a grant from Bureau of Workers' Comp for $8,215. It was actually the fire department filled out the application for us, and that grant money is for fire protection hoods and gloves. That was received into our general fund, as we have to do by law. And now we need to transfer that money to the fire levy fund and make an appropriation within the fire levy fund so that we can reimburse the fire department for the purchase of those hoods and gloves. So I'll go ahead and read the resolution. It's Resolution 2019-16. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the following transfer of funds and supplemental appropriations be made. $8,215 to be transferred from the general fund to the fire levy fund, and a supplemental appropriation of $8,215 to the fire levy fund account 2191-760-740 machinery and equipment.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
And that's all I've got for you guys.
Okay, go into some old business, the Nature Works grant that's been pretty widely discussed at recent meetings for the last year and a half. We had a conference with Nancy and Alicia Beatty and I up here on Wednesday, and we went over everything and dotted all the T's and crossed the I's. That was delivered and sent registered Thursday, so that was off timely. I want to thank Fred. You filled out quite a bit of paperwork on that as well. Tricia Beatty of Sheeran Watershed Partners was, well, we couldn't have done it without her, and Nancy put quite a bit of time on this too, so, it's in the pipeline, and we'll see how it goes in October. The 208 plan, I've made some calls up to the county, and regardless of some erroneous reports on the internet, there has not been a hire for planning director yet. I mentioned when I talked to staff up there today that I would look forward to discussing this 208 adjustment that they're promoting, I guess, would be the word. And when the staff, when the director is hired, Secretary assured me that she will be in touch with all the townships, possibly on a quarterly basis, so. Let's see, we got some crack seal bids.
We had low bidder on here, which was one of the companies that we've used in the past, PS Construction. They were at $48,615.75, and I believe that we have had no issues at all. We've worked with them several times, and I see no reason why we wouldn't want to enter into this contract with them. It's in our budget.
It's bid, and they've dealt with them. so-
We worked with them before, and they were by far the low bidder.
I'll make a motion that we award the 2019 crack seal contract to PS Construction.
And a second?
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
BJ?
Yes. Emmerich mentioned briefly in his report, and I think I piled on a little bit too, some of the events we've had just recently in the township. I think it covered senior trash pickup pretty well. Those numbers were up from what I understand. More and more people become aware of it, they're gonna take advantage of it, and I'm sure something's gonna continue. We had large item cleanup day Saturday at Adam Hall. That was moved up there several years ago, kind of by necessity, because we were redoing the road department, and that's one thing that's gonna stay there because of the way it handles the traffic and the way everything's worked up there. It was pretty popular this year, I thought. The comments, or I was amazed
Well,
by the
the
mattresses.
Things they
and
dropped
couches.
off were pretty depressing.
There wasn't a lot of good stuff this year.
Nothing entertaining whatsoever. Mattresses, rusted out grills,
Yeah,
furniture.
yeah.
Did you get a count, Fred? on-
Yeah, it's about 130
130 people come in.
cars.
Yeah, we started at 7 AM, it did not stop until after 1 o'clock,
There was, for the most part, 10 cars in line all the time.
all the time.
Sometimes a lot more, right?
They backed up a little bit when they were changing dumpsters.
In
How many dumpsters did we go through?
11.
In light of that, one of our residents sent us an email, Gary Catella. He just wanted to make sure that the trustees continue the senior trash pickup. It's, a very helpful program, and they gave some very high kudos to the crew that came in. And please continue the program in the future. I have to say that we get a lot of compliments from that seniors, and as the senior population increases, I would say probably more than half of the phone calls that came in to Nancy, unfortunately, that came in the last day, are seniors looking to get pickup. And that's a program that's run through the Department of Aging, and you must call the Department of Aging and get on the list. And if there's room on the list, we'll catch you. But we've devoted 2 full days to that. We can only do around 100.
Yeah, that's max.
It's a lot of pickups if you think about it. That's for 4 guys.
Yeah.
And we started to mention that a couple months before the event, but you've got to get on the list. And it's actually their program that we participate in.
Well, I think a lot of those last minute people showed up on Saturday.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
they
no
were-
problem.
And they were very grateful, even though they had to show up there. I just got so many compliments and thank yous from people. Some of those seniors that showed up, they didn't have to pay, but some of them insisted that, you know, that they pay for the service because they were just so happy to be able to do that.
Yeah, trash day is a very popular item.
A lot of thanks to the service.
We took in a lot of
too.
tires this year.
Yeah, the one thing that happened is that we noticed there's a doubling on the amount of tires that are coming in. It used to be typically just one 40-yarder through Doherty that we would take out. Now we're filling two the last, 3 years now, 3-4 years. So, I mean, I'd rather have the tires.
Let's get them tires out, you know, I
Right.
noticed a couple of people bringing them in, sloshing water out of them, so
Oh, yeah.
let's just keep getting rid of them.
And you guys were, from what I saw, there's nobody came in with more than 8. I didn't see it.
No, everybody, adhered to the rules.
And we do get reimbursed with a grant for that. And, so yeah, carry on, keep doing it, you know. They're out there. We're gonna get rid of them. Memorial Day, oh, that event is also something else that we've had to relocate somewhat. I think it worked a lot better, Mike and John, you were here this year with the wreath ceremony here.
Without having tornado damage all over the place?
I think it worked okay. What we've done is by necessity, we moved the reading of the names, which is the longest portion of the event, up to Adam Hall last year, because we were under construction out here. And people are pretty complimentary of being in air
Indoors and
conditioned
sitting down.
and sitting down, as
Yeah.
opposed to standing in either rain or 85-degree weather out
I
here.
thought it was very good, and I really think we should continue that.
Well, this worked much better this year, it really did. So we got, you know, that needs to be incorporated, and it was pretty well this year, I think, and so we'll keep doing that. This year, we had that storm roll in just as we would have been wrapping up the first part of the program at Adam Hall and moving on to Shady Side, which is what the program said we were gonna do. And we did a little detour and did our speaker, as the lightning and thunder were rolling outside. And we had a proclamation for an Eagle Scout project. It's a fabulous project up there at Shady Side at the mound where the different branches of services were displayed in the monuments. And he's all located on one marble, I believe it is, plaque, and it's pretty impressive. It's a pretty substantial Eagle Scout project. And the father was giving the speech this year, and the son was the Eagle Scout project, so we kind of wanted to do everything right there at the site, and unfortunately, weather wouldn't let us do that this year. I think we'll just make this weather permitting to move up to Shady Side from now on. Maybe we'll work out 2 different agendas or some sub-agenda in case the weather
It did hits. work out good, because the weather did, just as it ended, the weather broke just enough where people could actually get up there, park. They went over to the museum, and then it dried out just enough where we go back and continue the ceremony, so.
Yeah, we
Kind of
did,
wasn't the exact order we did,
Yeah.
wanted to do things in, but it
we
went pretty well.
did the flag replacement ceremony, and the kids, the scouts folded the flag per military, which was John Reihoffer's contribution to it was his suggestion here several years ago, and I think it's added quite a bit to the ceremony. We didn't get to do that in front of the entire crowd, as we generally move from one spot to the other. This year it was kind of a little bit subdued because of the storm, but from what I saw, I think we're gonna do Adam Hall and then do the last 20-30 minutes at Shady Side, weather permitting, I think is how we ought
I
to do
think
this.
when you have a speaker, and Francis was a phenomenal speaker,
Yes.
they put the time in to put a thoughtful speech together. It's nice that the people can all hear what they're saying, and you know, he had everybody's attention while he was giving it. And I think those are some signs that was the right way to do it.
continue on that way in the future, and the other permitting pretty much covers
Yeah.
the saving us.
We'll take it off the agenda now, but that I thought needed to be reviewed just because of some of the events. All right. We got some franchise?
Franchise fees,
You want me to jump in there, because I'm really good at those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the $4,662.20 from Charter Communications, and I'd like to make a motion to put that into the land acquisition and improvement fund.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ?
Yes. Okay, we'll open up for some public comment. Anybody got any questions about anything? Tonight? Just
Motion to
one more
adjourn.
thing to do?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
8:06.
Thank y'all for coming.